Hello everyone, Santiago, Rog, Sam, the usual. How are you guys doing? Like always, just a quick check that everything is working. The camera, the sound, I guys are hearing me okay. Everything should be fine. Yeah, I'm really sorry for last week. Last week we didn't have our live because I had an issue connecting to the Polymaker account. So I solved that issue in the afternoon here in China. So it was already too late. So that's why finally, I canceled the stream last week. I'm very sorry for that. Now it should not happen again. But last week we had a lot of fun on the LM show from Loyal. So I joined the street, but on the chat, and in order to compensate a little bit the fact that we didn't have the stream the day before. So, and you're on, yes, the real Sam print is actually. Can you see what's up there? Oh, it's cut a little bit. Here you go. I don't have the big poly, but at least I can carry it and show it to you. So this is the robot that Sam in the chat has built. I think the thing that impressed me the most is the time it took to build this. I think it was what? I think we were a little bit in the rush because we wanted to have this for TCT in the beginning of the year. And I think he did this in like 1 or 2 days, something like this. I don't remember. Maybe the polybot. Yeah, maybe Sam, you can tell more about it. But I do remember it was like you sent picture of it and then you said like, yeah, it's already on the way. I was like, whoa, already finished a robot in a few days. Let me put it back there. So yeah, Sam is the way. I think he has. What, like how many printers? I think dozens of printers, I think, at the moment. So yeah, I mean, the way, like I told you already, the way you manage those printers and how much print you can get in one day is just so impressive. Hi HC, and welcome to Nawaz Abdullah. Bonjour everyone. From Quebec, is that correct, or from France? 32, Sam? 32 printer or 32? Well, that's huge. Okay, and then Rob Gumshield, hi, the polybot this week. Yeah, it's awesome. And I'm not sure if you have seen the bigger version, the big brother of that robot. So it's the same style, but a much bigger one. He went around at TCT UK. It was pretty awesome. We have some footage. It was pretty good. 32 printers, Sam. That's crazy. Thing has got out of control. Yeah, I can see that. Hi, Maziri. Welcome. Hi, Titan's Revenge. I think I remember your name. I think you joined one of our stream as well. I can recognize most of the name. Maziri also. HC. I think that's the first time I see you there. Comic Age Clothing. Hi. I also think that's the first time you're joining. So today, as always, I prepared some stuff to break. So we have all the materials. Like I always say during the stream, the best way to learn about materials is just to break it and see how it performs. So this time I have a lot more materials. And I did the polywood. A lot of people has asked me how polywood would behave. I added the silk PETG, and then the rest I think is pretty similar. And then I have the polysmooth. A lot of people has asked me about polysmooth, which is very similar to ABS actually when it breaks. So I have these. I asked on Twitter also if there is some topic that people would be interested in, and then I have. Was it BCN 3D, a printer manufacturer from Spain that asked if we could talk about 3D printer innovation, and I think they have released something. I I didn't know, so I very quickly checked the article, and they introduced auto calibration for their 3D printer, and then a metal pack, so two more material oriented. But in terms of the hardware, they were talking about auto calibration. So during the stream, we are also going to talk a little bit about 3D printer. You know, what's the status of 3D printer now? What has evolved? You know, whether it's multi-material, multicolor, the speed. A lot of different the slicer also, it's pretty impressive, the slicer we have now compared to what we had like 10 years ago. So that's going to be one of the topic, and some other, we had some pretty nice print that I wanted to show. So I will take some when talking about slicers and what printer are capable of. Then I will talk a little bit taking all of these models as an example. Actually, I'm not sure if you know these models from we went there from the same Thingiverse account. I don't remember the name of the designer yet. I should have. Next time I will put the credit on Twitter. I will post on Twitter with all these models. But you can see, I mean, look at the small army that we have made with all our army colors. It's pretty nice. Look at these. I'm not sure you can see the details on the camera. I cannot go too close because I have the light just here. But yeah, we have almost all our different army colors. Yeah, sometimes I look down because I have my screen here, so I can see what you guys are seeing, so that I don't show it in here. And then we have like some nice model, like this was that spaceship, I guess. And then this one was pretty famous. I think you know this model, printed in multiple parts. I've seen it on multiple Facebook group. Pretty nice as well. And then we have this pretty nice plane here. So all of these models, some new models that we have printed with our new series, and then some decoration for printing. Okay, sorry, I've been talking. I haven't read. So we had Real Sam Prentice always does the UK proud. Yeah, definitely. Actually, I think we have been working with a few people that are building robots, and somehow they are all in the UK. So I don't know if it's a big hobby in the UK of building robots, but it's pretty interesting. I think we have we've been talking with what's the name? James, and then Matt and Sam, and they're all from the UK building robots. Most likely all the robots come from there, maybe. I did reviews for you guys, Glow in the Dark and Earth Brown. Oh, yeah, I know. So then Titan Revenge 3D, I know who you are from Twitter. I've seen the two reviews. Thank you very much, by the way. So you are the one that is very excellent at choosing models, right? I've seen the model you choose for Earth Brown and for the Glow in the Dark, and it's just perfect. And the way you printed them also, you really have good skills with 3D printers. Comic Age Closing, so Loyal's tweet. Oh, did Loyal share the? Let me check. Did he share the invitation to the stream, or was it? Are you talking about another tweet? Then we had Lyra Rock. I can recommend all the Army Polyterra line. Lyra Rock, thank you for being here. I'm so sorry. I'm so late. I've seen your message, and then Oriana keep poking me that I need to come back to you, and I will definitely come back to you. I've been very busy. I spent my winter holiday developing the new US website that most of you have seen with the new affiliate program. I won't talk too much about the affiliate program, but I will have a special stream just for the affiliates. So all the people that has registered to our affiliate program, I will do a very special stream for you to explain a little bit more about that. But I promise, Lyra, I will come back to you. I know there is some stuff that we need to update. Thank you for joining. I'm so happy that actually the fact that it didn't work last week, then this week I was thinking, okay, we need to do something a little bit new, and then I was thinking, let's do a time where we could have both the US and Europe. So I don't know most of you where you are from, but I've seen some names that I recognize that are from the US, and I know some names that are from Europe. So I'm happy that the fact that we had these 2 times. So unfortunately, I cannot do that every week because I'm in the office now, and it's Saturday. It's 11 p.m. now, so almost midnight. So I will try to do it like maybe once every month, something like this. Anyway, I love talking about 3D printing, so I don't mind coming in the middle of the night and just hang out with you and talk about 3D printing. One thing, Polyterra is awesome for is enhancing details. Oh yeah, definitely. Actually, there is like the matte finish kind of help with like you can have exactly the same details with regular PLA and Polyterra PLA, but the matte finish will just make the details stand out a little bit more. Titan Revenge, yes sir, yeah, I remember. Lunarborn Studio, good to see you. Still testing your materials. Yeah, I think I remember the Polycast. So if you guys don't know, if I remember well, Lunarborn Studio is actually an artist that is making, I don't know if it's all what he's making, but I know that part of the art is making metal art pieces that are just awesome. And I've seen an interview, I've seen on the news, there were I don't exactly remember, but it was a commemoration or something like this, and there is like a the piece that was in like a park. Sorry, I don't remember exactly, but he's using our Polycast, he's testing our Polycast, and then if you go on his YouTube channel, he's explaining like an expert. I mean, to an amount of details you cannot imagine, the investment casting. So if you guys are interested in investment casting, then I highly recommend that you go on his channel. Lunarborn, I don't remember. Yeah, I guess that's the channel. You just click on that name, and then you will see the channel. Polymaker Marble is excellent as well. Yeah, do I have the marble here? Yeah, I mean, Polyterra now comes in such a variety of colors. We have the regular color, we have the army colors, we have the pastel colors. We made the tipi tree here, the tipi tree made with the pastel color. And then we have all the marble colors. And we have a new series that is coming in March, in mid-March, I believe, depending on our production. Because we are actually moving and we are expanding our production. We don't have enough at the moment to follow the demand. So we are expanding at the moment. So during the expansion, we will be producing a little bit slower. But after that, we have a whole bunch of new products that are coming in 2022. I want to be US affiliate. Yeah, you can go on the US website. So you are 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, US here. Yeah. So if you want to become a US affiliate, you go on us.polymaker.com. So that's our brand new website. And then there is an affiliate program. There is like one tab. You go there and then you can sign in. And then on the front page, I explain everything. So, and it's pretty straightforward to sign in. And the program itself, the commission, the tier plan, etc., is really good. Like I said, I will go more into detail in the next stream with the affiliates. Jay, Australia here. Australia. Wait, but because I'm in China and Australia, I think is around 4 hours, so it's also late in the evening for you. If it's 11:30 here, I think it's somewhere around well, maybe 9:30 or something like this. Or no, maybe the opposite. Maybe it's like 3 a.m. or something like this. So basically now we have the whole world, right? We have Asia, we have Europe, we have Americas. That's awesome. Rock Gum Shield, we are affiliate too, so look forward to it. Yeah, thank you very much for becoming a Polymaker affiliate. Igor, hello from Hungary. Yeah, again, well, I'm so happy to see all of these names. So Igor is also a YouTube channel that we have been working on, and his technical tests are just awesome. So why we really like this channel is because he has a very scientific approach to the materials. So there is some channels that are more, let's say, print models and let's say educating the people to get into 3D printing from scratch. And they are staying at a certain level. And then you have some other channels that go a step forward, and then they go more into the technical side. And for us, I'm a little bit biased, but I really like the technical side. So, and then Igor was, and he's new in a way that he was not there when we had all the channel, like maybe 6 years ago or 7 years ago. I think, or I don't think the channel was there yet, but very quickly it become a channel that people really like because of the technical test. So and thank you very much, Igor, again for accepting to test our materials. From Hungary, so we really have. Glad to see you're doing fine. Thanks for the effort on the stream at the EU friendly time. Yeah, it's a pleasure. I at least owe you this. Luna Burn, yeah, testing the Polycast. Thanks for the shout out. Yeah, definitely. Thank you for testing the Polycast. We learned a lot from your testing. Bill the Marks, good morning. Bill the Marks, are you the mod for the LM show? I've seen your name, and every time Loyal was mentioning your name to get all the winner information, etc. So is it the same Bill the Marks? I remember it was that name. Super Slow, yeah, definitely remember that name. Love Igor's videos. Yeah, definitely. For all the people that don't know Igor's video, I highly recommend to go and see them. He actually, even for the, I don't know if you remember the fact that we made a hook contest last year where we needed to printed some hooks out of Polymax PLA, and then he also joined the competition, and then he made a video about how he made the hook. And yeah, the scientific approach is for me the reason why I really love this channel. Nice. I'm signing up for the affiliate now. Thank you very much. Bill the Marks, yes. Yeah, okay. So you are okay. Yeah, I remember that name. Okay, so the first topic that I would like to talk about is like I mentioned in the title, is last time we talked a lot about warping, and I went into the technical details behind what is warping, what's the real root cause of warping. We've covered, let's say, 80% of it. The rest of the 20% is really more on the polymer science, so I don't think it's very interesting without a whiteboard that I can use. But today I want to do the same thing, but for oozing and stringing. So the first question when I write, I don't have, I forgot, the book from 3D Print General. You know, he has a 3D printing failure book, and inside there is a material science where I wrote about my experience with materials and what I know about materials. And one of the sub science chapter is oozing and stringing. You know, how, for me, what's the difference between the same way I explain the difference between a jam, like jamming your printer, or clogging your printer. And I know it sounds strange because, and that's only my way of seeing, right? But for me, oozing is when you are going to have blobs of material, so it stops extruding material, then you will have a phenomenon that will make the material ooze, right? And then we will come back to this after. So for me, that's oozing. And then you have stringing. For me, stringing is the phenomenon of finishing, or at least being the printer, the print head has finished printing something, and when moving to another location, you have a string that will be created, right? So, and although oozing and stringing can have some resemblance, the root cause behind oozing and stringing are, for me, with that definition, very different. So I will try to follow the chat at the same time to make sure that if you have any question, then I can answer on the go. So will future live stream be the same time as today? Novaz Abdullah. I'm sorry, unfortunately not, because for me it's not very convenient. I'm based in China, and it's almost midnight here. Saturday almost midnight. So I will try to do at least once a month around that time, and the rest of the time will be more around 8:30 on Thursday evening, Eastern Standard Time. And I don't think it's a very good time for let me check. So if it's so it's like somewhere around midnight, 1 a.m. in Friday for Europe. But I will try to mix. I will try to have at least one stream that is EU friendly time. I sent Twitter DM for later. Okay, Bildermark. So going back. So now that we have made the distinction between stringing and oozing, what are the factors that affect the oozing? For me, there is let's say 3 main factors. The first one is gravity. Okay, so that's the reason why it's going down, right? So that's the first factor, the first force or vector or factor. The second one is so let's do like this. The first one is going down. Okay, so all the factors that makes it going down, the force that makes it going down, and the second one is the force that keeping the material up, right? Then we will break those down. And then the third one is time. Why time is very important is because, you know, it's oozing over time, right? I will give you an example why I always highlight this third factor, that is time. Is for flexible filament. Usually, or when I print on the Ultimaker, because the Ultimaker has a travel speed that can reach a little bit higher than other regular desktop. So the reason why I mentioned time is because when you print flexible, you usually don't want to have too much retraction. Usually I just remove it actually. And in order to avoid the oozing between 2 islands when you are printing, I just crank up the travel speed to the maximum. And why does that solve my problem is because I'm entirely playing on the third factor, which is time. If it doesn't have time to ooze, then whatever the force, it will just not ooze. So usually when I print flexible, you will have like, you will print 1 island and then it will go to the other island, and then it will just go like this. And I have very, very minimum oozing. So that's why I think time is very important. Sometimes you can solve your oozing issue. So what's an oozing issue is it will ooze, and then when it will arrive to the island you are printing, it will make a blob. So this blob can be reduced by reducing the time, you know, like calculation, right? So now let's talk about these 2 forces. Okay, now time is time. I think it's pretty straightforward. So regarding these 2 forces, so the force that bring him down is gravity, and don't think there is other particular force that will force the material to go down. So theoretically there is gravity and residual pressure. Residual pressure is after you finish. In order to print, you need to create some pressure in the nozzle, and then this pressure will make the filament come out. And then when you retract the filament, theoretically you bring that pressure inside the nozzle, the chamber, back to 0. However, in some cases, you will still have residual pressure. But let's put that aside for now. Let's just say you have a good retraction, and then when you retract, you remove any kind of pressure in the nozzle. So you are only left with gravity. So whatever left in the nozzle, the weight of that material that is left in the nozzle is going to be pushed out of the nozzle. So what are the forces that keep him up? Well, there is the first one is viscosity dependent. So how to bring that? The more, let's say you put water in your nozzle. Even though there is no pressure, the water is just going to leak out of the hole, right? But let's say you put honey. The honey will take much more time to come out of the nozzle. So That's the viscosity. So the lower the viscosity, the less it will ooze. Why? Because the higher the viscosity, the more like if you have water here and honey, the higher the viscosity, the more towards the honey, right? So if you have a very high viscosity material inside your chamber, then it will ooze much less. So how do you have a high viscosity material? Well, you simply decrease the temperature. The higher the temperature, the lower the viscosity. So that's the reason why you have a lot of dual extrusion printer, that when the other one stop extruding, there is a standby temperature. So the standby temperature will usually be around like 150 or 180, because at that temperature the viscosity is so high that it cannot ooze, even if it's inactive for a long period of time. So that's one part, the viscosity of the material. Another part is the how do you call that already? Capillary. Capillary. I forgot the name. The fact that it's very small. Oh, you guys, can you help me? Capillary. Capillary. Yeah. The capillary effect. So it's not actually, it's not exactly the capillary effect. It's more the fact that you will have friction on the side of the nozzle. So the nozzle is like this, and then you have a very small die at the end. So this die, the length of the die, it's very important. Well, of course, the dimension of the hole is important, but let's say it's 0.4. But let's say you have a very long one. If you have a long one, theoretically, you will have less oozing. Why less oozing? Is because you have the whole cylinder that is putting friction on the opposite side of the gravity, right? So I'm not exactly using the right words, the right scientific words, but I hope you guys are following. So if you have that small die, at the end of the cut, that is higher, then you will have this this effect of not oozing too much, because there's too much friction that is provided by this die. Yeah, so let me catch up a little bit if you guys have any questions. So Rock Gum Shield, I don't mind a late stream. Yeah, I will try to play around with the time and find the best one. I know this time now is the best for US and Europe. I know, but it's very hard to find a perfect one for the whole world. There will always be one part that will have to compromise a little bit. Capillarity, yeah. Thank you, Santiago, and thank you, Nawaz Abdullah. Santiago, I've found hardened steel nozzle help with stringing, higher friction, and lower tip temperature, even if you print lower to compensate the lack of thermal conductivity. Yeah, again, so that's for me, that's oozing. I don't think this will help with stringing by how I define stringing, right? So stringing for me is the entanglement between the polymer that will create this. So if you're printing something, and then let's say you do a Zhop. When you do the Zhop, why it doesn't cut directly the polymer? Because they are so entangled, right? And whatever the design inside or the friction, which may help to cut it earlier, but the stringing for me, it has only to do with the material you're using, whether it's it has a high viscosity or low viscosity, maybe the molecular weight, how long are the polymers, and the entanglement between them. I guess that's the reason, that's the factors that will affect the actual stringing. So, for example, there's a lot of people that recommend the Zhop when you are printing. Let's say you are printing this, right? And then here, when you will start to print, you have two islands, right? And sometimes when you don't have a Z-hop, when the printer will go from this island to the other island, it may knock off the second island, because it will maybe when it print, it will curl a little bit, and then it will just knock the part off the bed. So they are recommended the Z-hop. And then they have a new problem, is they realize that the whole print has stringing everywhere. And that's mainly the big issue with Z-hop. The big issue with Z-hop is when you will hop, then you will have all the entanglement between the polymer that will just stretch and force the rest of the material that was inside the nozzle, stretch them to come out, force them to come out. And that's why it will first stretch. So you have a small string, and then it will start to move, and then this string will just stretch, and then you will have this stringing issue. So in order to solve the stringing, my recommendation is to do a wipe. So the goal, we just define the stringing as the material that stick to itself, right? That's also the reason why when you have a high moisture material that has, absorbed moisture, then you have similar issue, because the water is going to make the material very sticky, and the stickiness will create those like chewing gum like string. So in order to solve that, then you basically have to cut. The solution is to cut the polymer. As soon as you cut the polymer, you only need to deal with oozing. You don't need to deal with stringing anymore. And how to cut that? Well, either you design a very nice nozzle that every time after you print, then it just cut the nozzle. But there is, if you go on your slicer, there is something that is called wipe. And wiping means it will print the layer, and when it will finish the layer, it will actually continue a little bit. And the fact that it continue a little bit and print over on top of the other layer, it will kind of wipe the nozzle a little bit, and it will kind of cut the string. So that's one way. The other way is, if you check on Cura, if you check how they actually the algorithm to change from an island to an island, you will see that when they finish to print, it will slightly go inside, and then we will leave the island. So that small move makes the print much higher quality. So you can check on Cura, you can slice something, you can slice this if you want, and then you just go to your print preview, and then you go at this level, and then you check you check the nozzle pass, and then you will see that when you finish the outer shell, then you will do a small inner movement, and then it will go to the other one. So that's the movement that is going to cut the polymer. So again, that solves stringing, doesn't solve oozing. Oozing is after you cut the filament, then like we said, after whatever stays inside, you have other factors that will make it come out. And then when it will arrive to the second island, then you will have this small block. So now as Abdullah came across an anti-ooze nozzle from a Japanese guy. Did anyone try it? It has a spring-loaded valve in the nozzle. Yeah, that could also work. Amwen Tires. Okay. So for the how do you call that? Anti-ooze nozzle. The valve is also a good idea. I don't know if you know the Robos printer. That was at that time, it was I think one of the smartest printer. It was like a blue kind of, and then you had special spools on the side, and it was a very smart printer. Like it could do like some anti-jam process or this kind of thing. And they actually have also a valve system inside. So that's also a way to cut that filament in order to solve stringing. So we had some idea of how to cut or how to solve your stringing issue. Again, you can make the filament less stringy. So lower the temperature, dry the filaments. So that's one pass of doing that. The other pass is how to cut the filament, how to cut the link between your layer and the material that is still inside. So you have some wiping movement. You have different slicer that will create different paths between two islands. So all of this can solve the stringing issue. Now coming back to the oozing issue, for time, how you solve? So you have three factors, right? Time, the force that is going down, the force that is going up. You either slow down, you either lower the amount of time where the nozzle is inactive, you either higher the force that is keeping the material up, or you either lower the force that is pulling the material down. So time, how do we make the time slower? So far, I only know one is just to increase your travel speed. The higher the travel speed and the less time it will stay between two islands, and the less time it will have to ooze. If you guys have other ideas on how to make the time slower, then you can let me know. But right now, let me think quickly. Right now, I think that's the only way to affect that factor. Another way to have this. No, I have another one. In Cura, you have a setting that is called what is called, you know, when the nozzle stays inside the wall. So basically it will try to be as much as it can, it will try to stay inside the model, and then he will take the shortest path between one island to the other island. Yeah, I don't remember how it's called, but if you guys know that, please put it in the comment. So this is another way to affect time, because the slicer will automatically find the shortest path between two islands. So that will also reduce the time. So if you reduce that time plus a high travel speed, so if you take the shortest path between two islands and a high travel speed, then you definitely have that factor covered. The best you can. The other one, how to diminish, how to reduce the force that is pulling the material down. So we talked about two forces. The first one is gravity. Well, except changing planets, I don't see how we can change the gravity. So let's go to the other one. The other one is the residual pressure. The residual pressure can be solved by your retraction. So why there is a retraction distance and a retraction speed? The main reason is the speed can help with that's the distance. So you have actually that's a good question. I've never really think about how the speed can affect. I mean, I know by experience by hiring the speed will help, but I haven't really thought about scientifically why increasing the speed, your retraction speed, will help. So there could be one reason where if you retract too slowly, then you basically retract nothing, because no, that doesn't add up. Yeah, I will try to think about it for next stream. I'm not really sure. The distance, I know. The distance is basically you need to have the filament that goes out of the chamber, and once it's out enough of the chamber, then it won't have any pressure. Even though theoretically, if you only retract a little bit, then it means theoretically that there is already no pressure. As soon as you retract, it means there is no force that goes towards the print anymore. Even if you just retract half a millimeter means the gear will already go the other way. So theoretically, there is already no pressure. So maybe a reason could be that you are trying to remove as much materials as possible from the nozzle. And if you go, maybe, I don't know the logic yet, but maybe if you retract fast and if you retract a lot, then you have more material that come out of the nozzle. And remember, we talked about gravity. So gravity is mass dependent. So if you remove a lot of material out of the nozzle, then there is less mass. So maybe less than ooze. But that's a good question. I don't know. Well, maybe it's hard to write this in the chat, but maybe feel free to send me a message on Twitter or Instagram on some theory that you're thinking about when it comes to the retraction. Why there is a difference between 1 millimeter retraction or 6 millimeter retraction, and why there is a difference between 30 millimeter per second, how you retract, or 60 millimeter per second, why there is a difference. I will try to think about it. I have to say I've never really thought about this in a scientific way, but if you guys have some ideas, please share with me, and then in the next stream we can go back to this one. So let me catch up a little bit. Nawaz Abdullah, speaking of jamming, does all Polymaker family of filament come with the anti-jamming technology? No, only our PLA-based filament come with the jam-free technology, except silk. So here's a little bit of a side story. So jam-free technology, I already explained this in my last stream. So we changed the polymer structure of the filament in order to provide a higher heat resistance. But after it's printed, then it go back to the to an amorphous state. So the heat resistance is the same. But the jam-free technology is more on the filament side, and only PLA at the moment can have only the PLA. We can change the structure of the polymer in order to make it more heat resistant. And why silk doesn't have jam-free technology, and why 2.85 doesn't have jam-free technology? Yes, because only 1.35. The main reason is 2.85 usually does not require jam-free technology because it will very, very rarely jam because of the big diameter compared to the 1.75. You won't have the same response to the heat creep issue. So and the silk, well, actually it's a big topic, the jam-free and the silk. So let me finish the oozing, and if we still have time, then I will come back to this one. If I forget, just let me know. I just want to finish the oozing part. Lot of comic edge clothing, a lot of great information, made adjustment in Idea Maker for my next print. Yeah, definitely. I'm very happy that the small stream is helping out. The most important, what we are doing here every week, is we are diving very deep into the material science or even the hardware in order to understand the root cause. So I'm not really giving solution, or I mean, I'm happy to offer some ideas of solution, but what I want to give is to make everyone understand the root cause. Once you understand the root cause, usually you are going to find solution by yourself. You are going, if you know that's the reason, then you are going to say, oh, that means if I do that, then it will affect this. If I do that, it will affect this. And then you have a whole panel of solution. Because the problem, if I give solution, is I may say, oh, try this. Did it work? No. Oh, then try this. Did it work? No. And I don't like the fact that you don't really know what you're doing. You're just implementing what I'm saying. So that's why I prefer going more to the root cause. But I will try to give as much idea of solution as possible. Sam, oddly, I'm just installing the slice copperhead mode for flexible to hopefully speed up the TPU printing. Sorry, I'm doing at the moment. Although on the Prusas and loose bud, I don't get a great deal of oozing. Yeah, usually this oozing, stringing stuff will always come once we are printing flexible. And I don't know which one you are printing, but I think we send you one of the HF, the high flow. And this high flow, yeah, actually, yeah, that's also a very interesting topic. Why the high flow is very good at controlling the stringing. Why there's a material that we have launched that is called TPU 95 HF. HF stands for high flow. And in the description, I talk about how good it is at managing the flow. When I say manage the flow, it means all the thing like printing speed, extrusion speed, and it includes oozing. because oozing is the same thing. Oozing is how easy it is to manage the flow of your material. So why HF is because HF has such a high melt index for such a low temperature. It means that it has a very sharp transition between the solid state and the liquid state, the viscoelastic state, the molten state, let's say. So that allow you to control the flow a little bit more. Again, that's also a very interesting topic that we can talk more about, but I will try to finish oozing first. Combing, Lunaborn Studio, the dryness of polycast is the major factor of my issue with stringing. Yeah, definitely. So polysmooth, the PVB material and the polycast are all based on PVB, and PVB is very hygroscopic. What's going to happen is you will have a lot of molecules of water that will be absorbed by the material. And now I'm opening just my understanding. What I think is happening is this water molecule are creating additional connection between the polymers. You know, last stream we talked about the secondary bond between the polymers, the hydrogen bond, and maybe the water is either, there's maybe two approach. Either the water is creating more connection between these polymers, that's why they get so sticky. Another reason is the water is acting as a plasticizer, and acting as a plasticizer means it will, I think it will reduce the melting temperature or even the TG, but maybe now I'm not really scientific, I'm just thinking. But the fact that it will lower this, it means the material will have a much lower viscosity, so it will be very, very liquid, very, you know, viscoelastic. And what's going to happen here is it will create all of this string much easier. You remember we said that if you higher the viscosity, then you can break this bond much easier. So I think that's the reason why in the PVB the moisture is a big issue. Actually, nylon, all the polyamide have the same problem. Santiago, timber, super slow, combing. I think combing is when you try to avoid the islands. So if you have an island here and you have two islands here, when you will go from this island to this island, you will come here and then you will go around this island. So he will try to not cross islands. So I think that's combing. But I think there's another one, maybe that's also called combing, but I think there's another one where he will try to stay inside as much as possible. But maybe that's the same. I don't remember very well. Santiago, upside down printer. Upside down printer. Yeah, that's a good point. So we talked about gravity. So we talked about changing planet, but it's true that the gravity is by definition the one that is going down when the printer is put in the standard way. But putting it upside down means how can you have oozing? Because there is no more here. Actually, there is one more, residual pressure. So if you can solve, then you only need to solve residual pressure. You don't need to solve the mass of material that is inside that will be affected by gravity. And I remember NASA had a printer in the International Station, if I remember well. And the print, actually, you know what would be great is to find that video again about their printing stuff in the space station and check the quality of the print. And from the quality, we may be able to see how the no gravity can affect, well, not no gravity, but the fact that it's moving, like kind of no gravity, can affect the print. So yeah, that's a good point, Santiago. Print upside down or mounting on the wall. Rug, you yank the child that hard and fast, it removed back pressure rapidly. We found it great for the MMU. So yeah. So what I'm trying to understand is why going fast will remove more residual pressure than going slow. that's the part that I'm not too sure how to answer. You get nice sharp tip and no load failures. I would say, Santiago, I would say it is because of the viscoelasticity, like no Newtonian fluid with a high load rate behave more like a solid. Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, that's a very good point. So what Santiago is talking about here is how do you call that? The maizena, or I don't remember, but there is like something you use, the cooking ingredient, where you have there's a lot of experience on YouTube, and then if you heat it, then it's very hard, and then if you go inside, then it's very liquid. So that's the non-Newtonian fluid. So polymers, like Santiago say, behave the same way. So that means if you go fast, then you may be able to take more. So yeah, that's a very good point, Santiago. Thank you very much for bringing this up. I haven't thought about this. I think I have a way to test this. We have a specific extruder machine. We would need to test, like to extrude very fast and then see. Yeah, actually, I don't really know how to test. But yeah, that's a good point. Maybe it needs to be tested. So that would be an explanation for the speed. Now, the second explanation that we need to give is for the distance. Why the higher, the better? Why there's a difference between 3 and 6 millimeter? Yeah, as the polymer rug, as the polymer chain stretch and elongate, the speed and distance control the stretch and elongation and pulls it back. Okay, so what you're saying is, yeah, let me think. So the speed, so yeah, so if it's stretch, then I guess yes, the further you go, and maybe the more you can pull, because it will just keep stretching, and the more you stretch, and actually the more you take out. That was actually one of the big problem of the Ultimaker 3 during the release, because they had was it the Ultimaker 3? Yeah, the Ultimaker 3, because they had the PVA that was retracting, and it was retracting so far, and you know, because it's PVA, it's pretty stringy, right? It absorbs a little bit of water, and then it will become very, very stringy. And what happened is you had this long string, and when he wanted to come back, then all of this string will kind of mess up a little bit the path, and then it would jam. So that would be an issue if you retract too far, and then you have this long string. The other part that I'm not sure I understand very well is how the speed. You say the speed will control how it stretch and how it elongate. So yes, if we take the hypothesis in Santiago, so why the speed would affect how it elongate or how it stretch is because of the hypothesis from Santiago. So in that point, you guys have the same hypothesis, which up to date I think is the most logical one that I've heard. Yeah, I haven't really thought about it myself. HF is great. HF is great, by the way, using the CHT nozzles too. 7-day print in TPU. 7 days. Sam Prentice, 36 printer, 7 days prints in TPU. You have some skills next level. Lunaburn Studio, that information is helpful. Thank you. Yeah, you're very, very welcome. But actually, you already knew how to solve, right? Just drying the material. But hopefully, that additional one can at least explain why you are drying the filament and why does it solve the problem. Raw gum shield. Oh, may have to have a look at the new HF TPU. Been working on some weak sport protection padding. Yeah. Please do. It really solved the speed problem for flexible. Comic edge clothing dropped 15 degrees on the filament over the past 10 minutes and stopped the stringing on the model I'm printing of a giraffe. Oh, so you mean, wow, that's just so awesome. So you are printing at the same time. So you are printing at the same time you are learning about material science, and then you are changing live the setting of your print, and you just confirm that the theory that we have made together has worked. That's just awesome. That blew my mind. I mean, this 3D printing community will continue to impress me so much. What giraffe are you printing? I'm actually a designer, and I design a lot of animals, and I design a small giraffe. You can go on Thingiverse, you can find, it's called NT Toys. That's my name, Nicolas Tokotu Toys. And there is a small giraffe as well. So if you are printing that one, that's even more awesome. Super slow. Cornstarch to make what? Oobleck? What's oobleck? Yeah, every time you guys ask me some question and then I discover some new English word. I really need to improve that. Oobleck. Translate from Indian. Yeah, no ideas. I asked Google, but no idea what's that. Rug gum shield. Make a huge difference, doesn't it? Yeah, definitely. Temperature. Santiago, let's break stuff. Okay, so did we finish the oozing and stringing? I don't even remember where we were. Time, force that goes down, force that goes up. Did we finish? I don't remember. But anyway, okay, we can break some stuff. Yeah, I really wanted to finish. Did I finish oozing? You can quote the nozzle in order to provide more friction. You can have a longer L, big L, which is the length of the die. You can play on your nozzle size, the temperature. Yeah, and then it's just about the solution. But hopefully you understand the root cause. Once the root cause is understood, you can have a lot of solution, and you guys can find the best solution for you. So now, as Abdullah, Oobleck is the non-Newtonian thingy. So that's the yeah, I know the French word, but I don't know the if there is a specific English word. So okay, so I found this. They say actually it worked. It worked a little bit. I don't see how it worked, but our marketing team is pretty picky when it comes to materials. So I mean, it really barely worked. I cannot see anything. Yeah, it barely worked, and then they just throw it away. So I took it because I want to break it and see how it performed, because I'm wondering, what do you guys think? This is PLA Pro, Polylite PLA Pro, and it was printed with our new beige. So this is Army beige. It's our new beige color, and I was wondering if I push here both sides. Regular PLA, I know it would just break. I press a little bit. What do you guys think? Because I always print these, and now we are pretty familiar in how they are going to break. But that's an actual model with actual infill, with big walls. So what do you guys think will happen if I just push it all the way through? Am I going to be able to touch, or is that going to break before? If we talk about this, then Polylite PLA Pro, we know already that we can touch both sides and it won't break. But in a model like this, I'm not too sure because it's pretty thick here. So yeah, what do you guys think? Just let me know in the chat. This is PLA Pro. If I touch both sides, is that gonna break, or is that gonna just deform all the way? Because it's pretty short, right? So you can see how it does a little bit here. But I feel like it's gonna break. But what do you guys think? You can let me know in the comment. Then I can drink a little bit. Okay. Super slow. Oobleck is the catchy name they use in school for the mixture in cornstarch and water to create a safe non-nutrient film for kids to play with. Oh, okay, okay. Thank you for the explanation. Nice beige. Yeah, definitely. Nice new color. It's in the Army series. Actually, what we call Army series is like tactical color, dark color. All the dark stuff, we just put it inside. And that's how we call that series. Santiago. So Santiago, you think is going to touch if you're able to push that hard. Yeah. Actually, don't worry. I got some tools because I tried a little bit before the beginning of the stream, and yeah, it's very, very hard. So I'm not sure I will be able to do it myself, but I have some help. Sam, I think it will flex a bit more. Okay, so you don't think so you think it's gonna flex? It's gonna flex a little bit more and then break, right? Rug bend lines will show and split at the edge. Split at the edge, so around here, right? Okay, so let's try. Let me try. So just to give you an idea of the size of the model, so like in between there is like maybe 2.5 to 3 centimeters, I guess. So that's for Europe. For US inches, I have no idea. I think 1 inch is 2.6 centimeters, no, something like this. So maybe 1 inch, I guess. Yeah, you guys need to help me because I'm only using SI, so I have no idea. But anyway, let's go and try to break. Yeah, by the way, in America, I noticed there is nothing that you use like the measurement is so strange. Like whatever. Whether it's volume, whether it's measurement like dimension, whether it's well, like every time I have a measurement, then it's different. Yeah, I don't know, like ounce or like feet or miles or what else? Gallon, like gallon. I think it's volume or something like this. Lira, 1 is 2.54. Yeah. So 1 inch, 1 inch. I also know you say a quarter of an inch or like an eighth of an inch or something like this. Yeah. So yeah. So maybe I almost touch. I think I'm pretty strong. I think, but maybe if I use. Oh, I hear some crack. Yeah, no way I can take. I can arrive around 5 millimeter apart, and then it's too hard. So let me try the tool. So I have this. So I will try. So I think with this, I think it will break because I'm going to take a very small part and then I will just crush it. But let's try. Okay. Yeah, so it cracked. It cracked here along the layers. And then let's, oh, wait. So a lot of stress widening. Try again. So this part touch, so no problem, but the layers delaminated. So this is how, and actually it's not really, it's not like one layer, it's a lot of different layer where it goes a little bit like this. So very interesting. You can see here. So it's still very hard to make them touch each other. It comes back to this. This one is, there is a lot of plastic deformation on that side. It doesn't come back. and then that's how it broke. So maybe like maybe 4 to 5 layers where you go this way. So let me try to maybe completely break it. So along the layers. Okay. So along the layers a little bit easier. And then you have this part. So this part, yeah. So definitely, so that's what we saw with the sample test as well. You know, it doesn't. It's much more ductile than a regular PLA, but still I think less than Polymax PLA. But I mean, you know, if it's not along the layer, then there's no way we can break this. I mean, I can. Oh, there you go. You see it break like this. Okay, so I think that's very interesting. I mean, you guys have noticed, right? I really like to break stuff and see how they behave. Like I can see the layer adhesion here. I'm wondering, because I mean the infill is like this, right? Not the best infill for layer adhesion. So I'm wondering if we could improve that part. You see, it's always the layers that will break. You see, and I'm sure because if I do that with Polymax PLA, yeah, but print it differently because I didn't print this one, but I don't usually use this setting. So I think that we could make it much stronger by changing the way we are printing. But that's very interesting. Yeah, not the easiest to break, but you see, always the layers. You see here, you see it delaminate right on the edge there. Yeah, you see, always the layers. Yeah, I do think I think there is some improvement for the print settings for that one. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's all a mess in the US. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a mess, but I don't know how you make I don't even know how to convert or even how you do to remember like this is 12 of this and this is 13 of this. You know, it's not like a 10 base. So yeah, it's too hard. Our measurement system is stupid. Okay, at least for inches versus millimeter. Yeah, history, I guess. Maybe if you are used to that, maybe it makes for the US people it makes as much sense as it makes sense for us the SI unit. So I guess it's just used to. But I'm pretty sure it's easier to go from imperial metrics to SI units rather than the other way around. I don't know if there is anyone that went from SI unit to imperial. And I do think I've seen a documentary where one of the NASA mission had a big problem because of this, I think. So so it would be great that at some point we all use the same, whatever it is. I mean, I'm going for that one, the SI, but at least we need to use the same, especially when we do some partnership between country and we have the same calculation. Now was Abdullah, sometimes removing part without much force applied, printed in Polyterra PLA caused whitening. What could be causing that? Okay, so whitening come from stress mark, right? So anytime you have stress on the polymer, it will create some micro fractures, and these micro fractures will reflect the light in a different way, and it will appear white. So that's why if you have Polyterra, let me take some Polyterra. Yeah, so this is Polyterra. Well, unfortunately, it's a beige, but if I try to break it, you see, Polyterra, So you will have, can you see? So you see the white, I don't know if you see very well, but like on the edge, there is some white, some stress mark. So it comes from stretch. So if you are removing the part from the print bed, maybe what you're talking about is on the first layer, like the layer that was on the bed, then you will have a little bit of white. And the reason is because you have done some like tensile strands, you know, between the model and the bed before removing. So that's the reason, that's the root cause. And the reason why it's white is because there is some microfracture. And how to make it not white again? Then you have to seal this microfracture. A way to seal this is to heat up again in order for the plastic to remelt and then recombine again, so that there is no fracture anymore. And to do that, you just take a lighter, and then you just go very quickly, and then you will see it's like magic. The white part will just disappear. Why? Because of the reason I just mentioned. You will remelt the surface, and then you will get rid of all the microfracture. You can also do that with a heat gun, but the problem with the heat gun is you really have to control in order for the mod to not affect the model. That's why I recommend a lighter. A lighter will have a much higher temperature, so it will bring the material to melting temperature much faster, which means it will only affect the surface. So you can just go like this, and then you will solve the problem. So hopefully that explained the reason, and hopefully the solution I gave will be the good one for you, if I understood the problem properly. If not, please ask the question again with the detail I missed. Rock Gum Shield 3D honeycomb is our go-to for strength, longer print times, but so worth it. Okay, 3D honeycomb. Yes. So it depends on what kind of strengths you're talking about, right? Whether it's the layer adhesion, or whether it's the you know, the XY or honeycomb. Yeah, I'm not too sure which one, because I know some of them are really bad, like the rectilinear, because it will go one layer like this, one layer like this, so you have very poor layer adhesion. You have the honeycomb, but I think there is two kinds of honeycomb. There is the double honeycomb, and then there is the not double honeycomb. I don't know what you call by 3D. If it's like what do you say, 3D honeycomb? I don't know if it's like you have like some 3D thing, but yeah. Anyway, I think there is a lot of study on how to make the print stronger with different infill pattern, and I think one of the results I remember from a white paper was the infill have very less to do compared to the number of shells. If you have, like, let's say 5 shells, it will affect much more the print strength, like let's say overall strength, than the infill pattern. But I guess that depends on the application. Santiago, could we talk about layer adhesion on the next stream? Not just the temperature and cooling, but more in depth. Okay, yeah, sure. Layer adhesion more in depth. Okay, we can talk about, yeah, okay. Yeah, no problem. I will have to record that. Yeah, I know we are in contact on Twitter. If you don't mind sending some this idea on Twitter as well, so then I can make sure I have it on the next stream. Sounds like how super slow. Sounds like how ASA gets stress whitening from even things as simple as peeling off the bed. Heat gun is your friend with ASA. Yeah, definitely. It's the same. It's exactly the same explanation. Microfracture, reflect the light. Well, the real name I think is diffraction. Let me think. You have this, and then yeah, I think it's diffraction, not really reflection. But anyway, the microfracture will make it appear white, and then you just have to seal this with heat. Usually, I do recommend the lighter, but the heat gun also works. Rock gum shield for super slow. We have some butane burner, and notice exactly the same. Yes. Lira Rock, you can get rid of the whitening with a lighter. Yeah, definitely. Or apply some heat. It will look like new. Yeah, definitely. Actually, you have some workers. Their job is to go to the big stadium, and then you have all the ABS, I guess ABS or ASA. I guess it's ABS seats. The molded seat, and then there will be all white and very like a very light color, like kind of a pastel color. And then they are coming with their flamethrower, and then they just use their flamethrower, and then they burst, they flame. What's the verb? They flame the seat, and then it completely change color. It's very satisfying to see, and that's the same idea. It's the same idea. The main thing is called environmental stress cracking. So that's where the stress comes from that will create the microfracture that will make it appear white. It's not from a mechanical strength. Well, it's also mechanical, but it's called environmental stress cracking, ESC. If you go ESC on Wikipedia, then you will have this explanation. I don't like the lighter as it's too difficult to manage the heat for large flat pieces. I end up with nasty shiny spot where I can further it back to a uniform finish across the surface. Okay, yeah, I haven't had this problem where it becomes shiny, but definitely it can become shiny in a way that you are changing the structure of the polymer when you reheat the polymer. So it is a count for the lighter because it will be more specific, and the heat gun will change the structure but at a more like global scale. So that's a good point. Sam, triangle for me on everything. I guess you're talking about the infill pattern. And yes, actually, I think that's the default in Cura. I think Ultimaker has chosen to use triangle for everything. Now, I think it's a combination between print speed and mechanical properties. I think that's why they use triangle, but I'm not 100% sure. Now, was Abdullah, yes, I do the heating on open flame to minimize whitening stringing. Yes, whitening stringing. Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, it also works with stringing. If you have, especially if you print with polywood, you may have seen a little bit more stringing than regular PLA. But this type of stringing, like very thin one, can just disappear with the lighter. Not disappear, but yeah. Yes, raw gum shield. It's made up of more anchor points. Raw gum is made up. Yeah, sorry, I'm late on the chat, so I forgot the topic. But yeah, that will be a good one. We send you a picture of some PC warping from internal stress and curling the build plate. Curling the build plate. Oh, you mean the PC was warped and it sticks so much to the build plate that it warped the build plate, right? Actually, I had this issue with glass. I printed a big part on the Ultimaker, and then so I printed just with glue and on the glass, and then I made the mistake of letting it cool down on the plate. And then I was working, and suddenly I hear pop, and that was actually the glass that just broke because of the PC changing dimension, and it was stuck so much on the glass that it just deformed the glass, and the glass doesn't deform, right? So it just shattered. it's the UV bleaching. Love watching them do that. Oh, it's called UV bleaching? Oh, no, you mean the fact that it becomes white. Yeah, yeah. UV bleaching. Is that another name for environmental stress cracking? Or, but I guess that's a nicer name, easier to remember. Now was Abdullah. By the way, I forgot to mention the whitening occur while bending the flexible steel sheet to remove the printing part. That's why I wasn't expecting it to whiten. Bending the flexible steel sheet to remove. Yeah, but that should be the same. Whether you bend the flexible part or whether you take the part of the build plate, you still have the same amount of stress. It's still, you still have two surfaces that just pull away from each other. Whether you flex and then you pull, or whether you take the whole part, then you pull the whole thing. So I guess the explanation is very similar. Okay, I haven't seen the time. It's already almost 12:30 here. I think we're gonna end the stream here. I'm not sure. We haven't got time to talk about the different models. I'm not even sure I finished the oozing explanation. I know I went very fast on a lot of explanation, but what I need to try to do, what we need to do, is to choose a topic and try to stay on that topic for the stream, and try to, because I'm very easy to go away from topic. If I talk about something, then I will talk about the reason of this something. Then I will talk about the reason, like the cause of that cause, and then the cause of that cause, etc., etc. And then we may start with 3D printing, and then we end up with, the metric difference between two countries. So I will have to do some work on myself to control myself in talking about one topic and limiting myself so that I don't lose you guys. Yeah, I hope nevertheless that you enjoy this weekly stream with us every Thursday, but today was Saturday. Once a month I will try to do it on Saturday. So super slow, thank you for the stream. Thank you so much. Well done, Nick. Thank you. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining again. And I'm really looking forward already to our next stream, which will be next week on Thursday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. And I promise I will try to have a topic, and I will try to stick to that topic. Or if you guys like when I go a little bit everywhere, then you can also let me know. Any feedback you guys give to me to improve the stream, is very welcome. Thank you again for joining the stream, and I see you guys next week.